Hi, my name is Mabel Lopez, and this is my digital field observation for EHD 5005 of Fall 2018. I had the opportunity to complete my observations at McCardle Elementary in Fresno Unified School District, which is a public school that teaches kindergarten through 6th grade. When I arrived, the community gave off a suburban feel. The surrounding houses were always clean, the school was completely gated, and the parking lots never had trash on the floor. One thing I found interesting was that this elementary building was all connected through the inside. The classroom was really bright and organized when I arrived. The walls were always full of content and students always had helpful information on the wall. I observed Mrs. Z's second grade classroom where materials were always prepared by 8:20 a.m. Her students always came into the classroom excited to learn and talk about their day. One quote that I thought was really important was one written on the wall that said, "If you stay positive, good things and good people will be drawn to you." This quote is important to me because throughout the semester, when her students looked defeated and overwhelmed with the content, she reminded her students the importance of thinking positive to create a positive mindset. Analysis and conclusion. In the classroom, I could see connections from the text. Mrs. Z used cooperative learning as a method of instruction. She promoted face-to-face interaction by providing activities where students work together and or ask questions which encouraged the students to interact and give their opinions with one another. Mrs. Z had her students seated in groups of 4 with boys and girls in each group. During my observation, she also had them do a group research project where each person had a task to complete. This research project was about creatures that lived in the deep sea. Having a group project was one of the techniques she used for cooperative learning. She also promoted positive behavior in the class environment by having her classroom rules and consequences on the walls. There was a ticket system where every student had the opportunity to earn tickets, and every student could also have tickets taken away if the rules of the class were not followed. Using tickets was her way of acknowledging appropriate behaviors. Mrs. Z also had behavioral contracts and behavioral charts with 2 students in the classroom. Those 2 students were usually physically aggressive and would constantly interrupt the learning environment. So she made sure to take those few extra steps with them when they behaved well and or did something good for their classmates. She always made sure to praise them for their good deed. Mrs. Z also used visual and auditory enhancement when reading books and materials in the classroom. For November, the students read a book called Thanksgiving on Thursday. The students were to sit on the floor in their reading corner, read the book, and the teacher would show the illustrations. Then the audio of the book would be played on a CD player, and lastly, the students would be asked to recall and retell the story with illustrations of their own. It was really nice to see the students visually show their stories. The context of the schools. What are the goals of the school? How do you know? The goal of the school is to have students achieve academically, have great attendance, and social emotional growth. I know this because in McCardle Elementary School, there is a social emotional aide that comes in and meets with students with behavioral charts one-on-one every school day. In the classroom, there's also meetings that take place and encourages students to talk about different emotions and how to deal with them. I have seen these meetings and I have seen the social emotional aide talk to the students, and I know that some of this information is on the McCardle website. What expectations are teachers holding for student achievement and or behavior? Why? How? Teachers are setting the expectation high because kids are being rewarded for their extra efforts. This will help students who did not get rewarded want to try harder. Understanding school achievement. Define what is meant by school achievement. It is when the student is able to master the content and is able to understand and recall what they have learned within the classroom. It is also when students display a growth socially within their environment. What do you see schools doing to support and encourage student achievement? The school has incentives in place. There is an attendance incentive where the whole class, if they fill out the attendance sheet 10 days in a row, they get a popcorn and movie party. There is also award ceremonies where students get recognized individually and awarded for citizenship, attendance, and outstanding student. Multicultural education. Define multicultural education. It is when the content and the materials of the class include different cultures and experiences with respect and help students connect to and relate to the things they are learning within the class. Children want to see themselves in the things that they learn. Are students taught respect to one another's contributions? How? Yes. The students in my observation classroom had the expectation of treating one another with respect. One way I saw this was that the teacher always showed the students the McCardle Elementary School rules about bullying and told the students to be a hero, which stands for help, encourage, respect others. This was my first observation where I got to see the same students throughout the semester in the classroom setting. I got to see a lot of content from the textbook I read in the class being implemented and used in her class, like cooperative learning, promoting positive behavior, and using visual and auditory enhancements. One surprise that I had is that things may not always go to plan. I always say this because the teacher would have a schedule written down on the board every day, but many times the classroom would get behind schedule and sometimes goals were not reached. I would like to learn more on how to handle a class when things don't go according to plan. With this experience, I have learned that if things don't go according to plan, it is okay. I have also learned that it is important to get to know your diverse students in order to help them grow and help them learn within the classroom. This experience has made me realize how much I want to be a teacher and help students achieve different goals. Thank you.